Pac-Man World Re-Pac is a remake of a PS1 game that originally released in 1999. This game presents Pac-Man in a much different light than the typical top-down arcade style most people know him from. It's a platformer, most comparable to something like Crash Bandicoot or Super Mario 3D Land, a side-scroller with some 3D elements allowing players to move slightly up and down while progressing left to right. At some points, though, throughout the game, it will shift to a different camera angle, but mostly will be side-scrolling with some depth. The remake brings a lot of improvements. Visuals, audio, and gameplay all received solid updates. However, it also comes with a number of odd changes that are mostly harmless, but still worth noting. Due to contract and licensing issues with Miss Pac-Man, her name was changed to Pac-Mom. Other characters, both allies and the main villain, also underwent name changes. The cutscenes have been heavily altered as well. There are so many changes, in fact, that listing them all would require an entirely separate video. I'll include a link for those who want to dive deeper. Overall, the changes are positive, though one annoying thing is that you can't skip the slot machine minigame at the end of each stage. The lack of that feature got really old, really quick. The story is about what you'd expect from a family-friendly platformer. The bad guy kidnaps Pac-Man's friends and family, and now Pac-Man has to rescue them. Nothing too deep, and not really the reason most people would pick up a game like this, which brings us to the reason they would. Gameplay is easily the strongest part of Re-Pac. Pac-Man's return to 3D platforming includes a wide range of mechanics: butt bouncing, dot throwing, rolling, swimming, and more. His primary move is the butt bounce, which doubles as both an attack and a movement tool. It allows Pac-Man to climb slopes, hit switches, and also functions as a high jump. This is a unique approach, essentially combining Mario's ground pound and a high jump into one move. While most of your abilities aren't required outside of the opening tutorial, learning how and when to use them effectively leads to higher scores and smoother stage clears. Still, expect to be butt bouncing 99% of the time. Controls feel precise and responsive, though there were moments when Pac-Man simply refused to grab ledges. Hitting the button to pull up, assuming I had actually grabbed the ledge, would sometimes result in a plummet and a loss of life. An easy mode was added into the remake. If things get too annoying, or for younger players, it's a welcome option. Personally, I didn't find the game too difficult overall, except for one boss early in the game that felt disproportionately tough, halting progress for a lot of players right at the start. This issue existed in the original release too, and while it's been reworked, it's still way harder than anything else in the game. Enemy and boss variety is pretty solid. Boss fights are fun and challenging, but their difficulty is wildly inconsistent. That same early game boss still feels out of place in terms of how hard it is compared to the rest of the game. The game doesn't feature a huge number of stages, but each one is quite long, often running over 10 minutes, especially if you're trying to collect everything. This really hurts replayability. Despite the high score system being tied to 100% completion, I didn't go for it. Even though I enjoyed the game, replaying those longer stages just wasn't appealing. If I had known the score mattered more, I might have taken my time on my first run. That said, the game offers a good variety in its worlds, and none of them overstay their welcome. Collectibles and exploration were mostly satisfying. It always felt good to find a fruit and use it to unlock a hidden area or a letter collectible. However, the backtracking design, find a locked door, continue forward to find the fruit key, then go back, gets repetitive. Sometimes the game offers a shortcut, but not always. It happens so often that it starts to wear on you. The maze collectibles are a mixed bag. They're a cool idea, evolving the classic Pac-Man mazes, but the execution didn't land. New stage hazards like timed torches didn't work well alongside being chased by ghosts. For example, if a torch blocks your path, you either stop or turn around. Meanwhile, a ghost catches you and you lose a life. You only get 3 lives per maze. Losing them means restarting the entire 10+ minute stage if you want that collectible. It's not too hard, but it can get frustrating. The idea was good, the follow-through, not so much. Visually, the game isn't anything groundbreaking, but looks much better than the original from 20+ years ago. The UI is clean and has most info you'd want at a glance. The camera is mostly good. For side-scrolling movement it works great, but when moving along the Z-axis, it can become a real issue. You'll probably lose a few lives misjudging gaps because it's hard to tell how far you need to jump.
It's so hard to tell.
Sound design is excellent. All the iconic Pac-Man sounds and music are here, and sound great. Nothing mind-blowing, but very solid. I never got tired of the soundtrack or effects. The only slightly annoying sound was the ticking noise when collecting dots. It made me think I was on a timer. But really, it was just tallying up my collected dots. Once I realized what it was, it made sense, but I could have done without it. As mentioned earlier, cutscenes were changed from the original. Whether that's a big deal depends on the player. Personally, I found the removal of voice acting strange. Scenes are now done in a sort of similage or a gibberish language. I assume it was a budget decision, cheaper than hiring voice actors for multiple languages. I had a great time with Pac-Man World Re-Pac. I was aiming for 100% completion, but stopped at around 97%. If you just want to beat the main game, you'll have a great experience. However, going for 100% completion might be too tedious for some players. The mazes, in particular, get repetitive and boring. High score chasers might enjoy going back to optimize their runs, but I personally didn't feel motivated enough to replay each stage just for a better score and the additional 3% completion. While Re-Pac is a pretty solid remake, I imagine some fans of the original 1999 version won't fully embrace it as a replacement. Still, I think they'll find things to enjoy here. Even though I hadn't played the original before this, hearing about all the changes made me curious enough that I now want to check out the original myself. Overall, the remake is an improvement, with most changes being subjective, like character names and cutscene styles. It did come up a little short for me, but it's still a fun and competent PS1 platformer remake. I genuinely enjoyed it, but what I'm really looking forward to is Pac-Man World 2 Re-Pac. I've heard great things about that one, and I can't wait to see if it lives up to the hype. What's up guys, if you enjoyed that review, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, join the Discord in the video description, come over to Twitch, follow me over there for access to emotes and sound alerts. Sub tier 1 you get even more emotes, and you can sub with your Prime subscription, so it's sort of free. And it's also September, so you get 30% off new subs on Twitch. Also, if you were curious about how my review process works, feel free to stop by any of my live streams or my live reviews where I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions, as well as you can participate in the review of the game yourselves by being there once I beat the game or finish it and take a poll, and it will affect the final score of the game to some degree. I'll explain it more once you get there. Hope to see you there. Don't forget to sub so you know when I go live. Thanks for watching guys. See you on the next one. Later.